PMG Radio. Respect your jaw.
I don't know. The Russell Simmons shit's kind of bugging me.
All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. All right, so for those who don't know, Russell Simmons, at first it was just like a blind accusation from one particular woman. Then I believe a few more stepped forward.
Right.
Even Amanda Sales, as she's known now. You know what I mean? Sales? How do I say Sales? Yeah, well.
It looks like sales to me, but I think
Sales,
it's sales.
yeah. But anyway, she stepped forward and she said she had a rather inappropriate meeting with Russell. Not an inappropriate meeting, but she had a meeting in which she claims Russell Simmons said some inappropriate things to her in a sexual manner. It is Scandal City right now. But, you know, I think this one hits us a little bit harder because this is one of the forefathers of hip-hop.
Right.
And somebody asked a very good question. They asked, are we being a little bit lenient towards Russell Simmons?
Yeah.
You feel we are?
In a way, yeah. I don't think just because what he's done in the past and his impact on the culture should absolve him of anything he's might have done that might have been, you know, disrespectful or taking advantage of women. Like, that's like something that's fucking either you did it or you didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything else is like, okay, you could put that in a box and that's cool. You did that, but you also did this fucked up shit.
Well, I mean,
but we don't know. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, he put out a statement that said, although, and this was towards the initial accusation in which a woman claimed that she was inappropriately advanced by him, in which Brett Ratner was a witness to. Honestly, I just think this was probably one of them, you know, 80s gangbangs that were going on around that time. You know what I mean? Like
swingers party or something.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it sounds like to me. But yeah, so, you know, and you know what? I want us to, you know, I was going to bring this up too, but I want us to have a very blunt and honest conversation about these things that are going on. Do we believe that there are a lot of inappropriate things that go on towards women in the entertainment industry? Absolutely, right?
Oh yes.
There's no denying that,
yes.
yo. But you know, when you make an accusation, I feel like it has to come with something substantive. Like you have to, and that's just me, honestly. I feel like because, you know, when you get the first person or the first two people, and you be like, damn. Wow, that's crazy. Right. But once you get to the 18th person, it then becomes a free fall for people. And then you get to a point where I get to a point anyway. Let me speak for me. I get to a point to where I tend to ask, okay, well, how much of this is valid now?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, you know, when you hear the Bill Cosby shit, and you had upwards of 50-something women, and at a certain point, you just feel like some people are just looking at this as an opportunity
to cash in, yeah.
Like, it's just an honest point of view. And I don't want to take away from the victimization of what's going on. I really don't want to do that. But I want to be honest at the same time.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like,
it's not white and black. No, that's a legit
You know,
concern.
Russell Simmons has had a squeaky clean record. Like, in terms of, you know, the amount of shit you could throw at somebody who's been in this game for 30 years, his record is pretty clean. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I have never heard an artist accuse him of stealing a penny.
Oh yeah, his business. Yeah,
like not one.
Notch. Yeah, I never heard anything.
And that has nothing to do. I'm not being ignorant. That has nothing to do with what he does sexually. I'm just talking about his character.
Yeah, you're speaking to his character, which in a way, you know, that shit matters.
Right. You understand what I'm saying? Because the first thing they do is try to just take away everything you
carry.
You go to court.
He's had a history of doing shit like this.
They attack your character, so we're going to praise his character. He has had a pretty good character and reputation.
I've never heard anything bad
in the game. Right?
Especially in that industry. Yeah.
This
shit's impeccable, actually.
So you know, you tend to ask yourself, you know, why does somebody wait 30, 40 years later, and now out of all times, like why wait until now, yo? Like maybe let me ask a female. Like why do you feel some of these women are waiting until now to say something?
I mean, I'm not speaking about Russell Simmons' case. I'm just talking about in general. Like, if you're a victim, I could really never tell you when the right time is to talk about it, or I can't tell you or dictate to you when you should feel comfortable, when you should feel less fearful. As you just said, like, you don't really you're kind of suspicious of it, regardless of how it's being presented. The point is, if there's 18 women and all 18 women genuinely feel like they've been wronged, and there's a 19th woman who's listening to us say, "Oh, we don't believe," then that 19th woman is going to stay quiet for another 40 years because of the fact that she might be scared that people don't believe. So, for me personally, you know, I don't care whether you're rich, whether you're poor. I don't care whether you're a celebrity, whether you're, you know what I mean, average Joe. Right is right and wrong is wrong. So, absolutely. I'm not basing my judgment off of anybody's work ethic or off of anybody's, you know what I mean.
So what do you base it on then?
I mean, proof. I'm not saying yes or no. I'm just
Right.
saying that it's such a sensitive thing for me that, you know, even if all of these women are lying, I would love for it to be proved, you know, one way or another that they were lying, and then my mind can be at ease. But when somebody says something like that has happened to them, it's such a sensitive thing that I can't be like, oh no, you're lying just because you want money. Like, even if they are, we still have to just ride it through to the end, because of the fact that if somebody has really gone through it, like, you know what I mean? You know, when you're telling the truth and someone thinks you're lying, that's like a really bad position to be in, especially if it's something that difficult. Right. Like, you don't understand, like, as a woman, you feel violated, you feel ashamed, even though it wasn't you, it was somebody else's actions. You know what I mean? So I just feel like it's easier said than done. Oh, why didn't you just come forward 40 years ago? I mean, you don't know what somebody's emotional, mental health, spiritual, you just don't know somebody's position at the time. You don't know really why. And I guess this is the reason why you're asking the question. But
Right.
I think it's just a tough.
It's a pretty. I think we can all agree. Like, it's a pretty convenient time for a lot of people to be coming forward right now.
For me personally, I wonder why people would keep bringing this stuff up if they've seen that it hasn't necessarily. I mean, is it just to tarnish somebody's character? Because in a lot of these cases, nothing has really been proven.
Well, no,
to the point where. I mean, it's affected their career, it's affected whatever, but...
Yeah, the accusations alone have been...
Right, but is that the point of it, or is it to get money? Is it to get, like, justice? Is it to get money?
And that's the scary thing about it, is that you have men out here losing their jobs over an accusation at this point. Yeah. Not even over anything that has been proven, anything you've been charged for, or anything of that nature. Right. You're like, this is so, the firestorm is so sensitive right now. Like, motherfuckers is getting fired just for the accusation.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
Like, that's the crazy part about it for me right now.
Yeah, I think that's the part that's wrong about it. Because I feel like if you're going to come forward with something that damaging to somebody, like, and it hasn't been proven yet, do you even have to go public with it? Because then, like, you can't get that back. They can't get that reputation back. They can't get any of that back.
Even if
it's proven wrong down the road.
Right.
So I feel like it should be like some course of action that takes place behind the scenes, not publicly, like a mediation or whatever, arbitration, whatever you do. But it doesn't have to be public. They determine whether blah blah blah. If it's so, like, he did what he did, public, boom, you deserve to be shamed. Like, everything's
absolutely
good. If not, boom, get the fuck out of here. And like, this has been proven otherwise. Right. Even if you come forward, they can be like, yo, we had an arbitration. This was proved not to be true, blah, blah, blah.
Absolutely.
And then your reputation holds up more. You know what I'm saying? Because it's already disclaimed. But as soon as people hear like, yo, he raped 15 people or he did this and that, off the rip, it's done. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't get that back no matter what happens from here on out.
Right. And
it takes forever to even get to that point to go to trial or settle or whatever the fuck they do. So,
I mean, you like, you know, I look at the Matt Lauer case was a little bit different because one of the women who claimed the inappropriate tryst with him, she had evidence to support it, and I can appreciate that. She had text messages, emails, hotel receipts.
Yeah, I mean,
I can appreciate that.
We can all appreciate it. That's beautiful for her. But what about the people being raped right now or victimized right now who don't have proof? Like, in some cases, unless you freaking go to the doctor right that very moment and get some samples of DNA, there is no proof.
And factually speaking, we all know, and it's very sad, but the vast majority of women who do suffer sexual abuse, rape, don't come forward.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Absolutely. And, you know, that's a problem in itself, but that's a whole nother conversation. Right. But I feel like in with what's going on right now in the lengthy list of names,
I lost track at this point.
And then you're hearing, like I say, you hear a name like Russell Simmons, and you're like, all right, hold the fuck up. We need to, like, and like I said, I know it's Unc, man. Yeah. Like, we don't want to believe it because it's Unc, yo.
But isn't he the one that started the Me Too shit? Is that him? The Me Too hashtag? Was that him that started that?
I'm not sure, but I know he was definitely when
I
the
kept
Harvey
seeing his
Weinstein
name
situation
associated with
broke.
it.
He was definitely one of the people in the forefront. Like, yeah, he deserves what he's getting, and blah blah blah. And it was kind of funny because Matt Lauer too. Matt Lauer was one of the first people champion. Like, yeah, get him, and yeah, motherfucker, you ended up being one of them.
The thing about Russ though is that when Terry Crews first came out, he was like first one to talk to Terry Crews like we should forgive it, blah blah blah,
Right.
let that go.
'Cause it
that
was-
always stuck out in my mind.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why are you so forgiving for someone
Behind
that
the
he-
scenes too, because Terry Crews is one
And
who
he
brung
aired
it out.
Yeah, Terry.
Yeah, it was
brought
behind
out,
the
like,
scenes, and like, why are you trying to protect someone who you know
So
has? You know what I'm saying?
that's when the character, I'm like, I don't know. I'm
Right.
like, why is you so sympathetic to somebody that was clearly in the wrong,
right.
and you're trying to hide it?
Or would you be so telling somebody to forgive somebody who molested one of your daughters?
Yeah, exactly.
Because you got daughters, so it's like, would you be that forgiving if that situation presented itself?
So that's the flip side.
No, I'm with you.
That's the
I
flip
seen
side.
it too, and it raised the eyebrow for me too, and
That's
I'm
the
with
flip
you.
side. That's the flip
And
side.
don't get it twisted. We all know there was a lot of kinky shit going on back in the
Especially
days.
Russ was doing- he was probably
Don't
high,
get it
like,
twisted. We
He
know
was high all the time.
we know there was a lot of kinky shit going on back in the days. But you know, like I say, I think there's a fine line between a victim and an opportunist.
Oh, of course.
It's a very fine line, and I think what makes it really difficult is because to me, it's confusing when. You know, they say there's power in numbers, but this is kind of getting confusing because it's like the more people that come out, the more fake it kind of seems to some people because the more it seems like everybody wants money or just wants, you know what I mean, to get something else
Right.
out of it.
Like,
So
how many women came forward on Russ Simmons?
I don't know.
I believe
I lost track.
I believe it was around 5 last time
no,
I
it's
checked.
more than that. I think it's
than that?
9.
It's more than-
It's 9,
wow,
I think.
really?
Well, when
I think I mean it was between 7 and 9, but I believe that he did a lie detector test apparently.
Oh, I know he said he was willing to do it.
yeah, he said he's willing to cooperate. But once we got to the 5th one, I was like, all right. Like, that's when I was like, all right. Like,
Yeah.
come on, man.
20%.
Like,
You shooting 20%? That's still like what, too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's still too many. Like what are you talking about?
but we you know what's crazy? We love our heroes. So look how fast we were. Look how quick we turned a blind eye to Michael Jackson. Could make God rest his soul with them kids. We act like the shit didn't happen the first time, yo. Like that kid lying.
I gotta. But look at that. Look at everything that came out now. Years later. Yo, I was thinking about this the other day. I think he was a fall guy for that shit. So I figure
Mike?
like if you're trying to hire all this crazy Harvey Weinstein, all these dudes, Hollywood and all that shit,
Right.
who else was a bit like more of a distraction to get your to throw the scent off the trail than Michael Jackson, the biggest star in the world? That
Right.
already has questionable behavior.
And you know what's crazy about the Harvey Weinstein thing? A lot of people that, you know, it's like an insider kind of thing. And they say, yo, this wasn't no secret. Everybody like this, it just came out.
That's crazy.
But it wasn't no secret. Like everybody knew that's the kind of guy he was. You know what I'm saying? Like you would have to spread your cheeks just to get a position with him. And you know, man, it's ill, man. It's ill. And like I said, I was definitely having that convo. I think we're being lenient on Russ. I think we are because that's our guy.
It's more like what I feel like we don't want it to be true. Do you know what I mean?
I can't go in
we
on
don't-
Russ.
we
I'm
don't-
sorry,
we
my heart
don't-
won't let me do it. You know? Like,
I'll do it if I find like I have
can see Jay
I have
don't
no
care,
horse in the
boy.
race.
He does not
At the end of the day, I'll be disappointed. I'm like, all right, he's a piece of shit. Like, I'm good. So I hope it's like.
you hoping it is?
I mean,
There you
no,
go.
but not even
You
that for
hoping
the,
it
for the
ain't true.
women. For the,
Right.
I just hope nothing happened to women. Like you know what I'm saying. Like, but damn, that industry, dude, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
I don't think it would surprise any of us.
No.
That's what I'm saying,
Like I
like-
said, no. I like. Listen, man. Yo, he came from a time. No, real shit. That Hollywood time when shit was like really popping. I've seen some shit. You know what I mean? I've personally myself like seen some shit. Like dog, shit you see in the movies really be happening. I'm talking about 30 chicks butt naked running around the fucking penthouse in the W. Like on some shit like I gotta get the fuck out of here. Like this shit is bugged out. Like cocaine, pills, all that shit
Yeah.
everywhere. Like
That shit was normal.
the liquor is just the after effect. Like there's so much drugs floating around, niggas ain't even touching the liquor.
They don't even talk about liquor when they talk about like old school. Like,
Dog,
partying.
I've been in, like my
Never
nigga.
talk about alcohol.
I've been at certain scenes to where it's me and one other person at the bar. and it's like 100 people there.
Doing
Like
that
nobody
shit.
ain't even. There's so much drugs going around. Ain't nobody thinking about the liquor.
I'm good, man.
Like it's ill. So we know some crazy things going on. It's just, I for me was kind of fucking with me a little bit. It's just the timing for all of this. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know if it's where it's like everybody just feels like we could unveil the ugliness, or do everybody see a great opportunity to cash in on something?
This seems to be
I feel like
the
it's
year.
somewhere
This
in
seems to
between.
be the year to do it. Like if you're gonna do anything, you still got 2 weeks left. This seems to be the year
Yeah,
to
2
do
weeks.
whatever you got to do. This
This
has
is a
been the
cutoff.
year
Like
for all the
2018 is
scandals.
just done.
No,
You just can't do it in
I'm gonna
2018.
be real.
like-
Shit got real with Matt Lauer. Like when his shit broke, it was a free fall after that. Like,
I was disappointed in that. I was like, I fuck
what?
with-
I
fuck with Matt
grew up
Lauer.
on Matt Lauer, dog. Are you crazy? That shit
damn.
hurt to hear that shit, yo. Like I grew like dog, I've been watching him since I was a kid, yo.
Tab
He's
is
a
hurt,
very
too.
he's a very likable guy. Like
Yeah.
and once again, I'm far from it. It has nothing to do
See,
with
that's
what
how
he does
careful
with
you
his
gotta
dick,
be,
yo.
though.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, no, 'cause I don't want to come off
That's
ignorant. I'm
crazy.
not ignorant,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's like, damn, man. All right, let's take it to the next step. The word rape has been thrown around a lot. And I think we need to separate what rape is and what being sexually assaulted is. It's two different things.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the press and media are using the word rape incorrectly. You understand what I'm saying? Like, because even with all of this shit, a lot of these men have vehemently denied raping anybody.
Yeah.
That is a strong word.
Yeah.
Yo?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So we need to be careful publicly. We need to be careful how we keep throwing that word around.
Right,
you know?
right, right.
There's a difference between me advancing you in a inappropriate way sexually
Right.
and me raping you. It's two totally different things.
Right.
And I'm not saying either. Like both are disgusting. Don't get it twisted.
Right.
But there's levels to this shit. You feel me? Like there's two different levels to that. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Me groping you
Right.
and me raping you are like, I'm pretty sure
They're
that a
two
lot
different bad acts. So
Right.
they're both like really, you know what I mean?
But I feel
horrible
like it's
acts,
just-
different.
it's very disrespectful to an actual rape victim to use
Yeah.
that word in a situation that, like, I literally heard an interview from a woman in the Matt Lauer situation who said he raped her and then described her situation. And I said, hun, that's not rape.
Right.
From your own mouth. The situation you described isn't rape.
Yeah.
So I see what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, because rape is like, that's like the worst shit in the world to me.
Yeah.
That's
That and murder
something
is just like,
Yeah.
like
He forcefully touching,
That's
yes,
just crazy to me.
absolutely. Being held against your will, yes, of course. But out of your own mouth, hun, that's not rape what you described. You understand what I'm saying? So I think the media needs to be a little bit more careful how to use that word. Because I hear that word and I'm like, oh my God, this
You know
is
the
a
media
fucking
don't
animal right here.
care.
yo.
The media doesn't care. They want to use rape.
Like they said, Russell
that's
Women
more sensational.
raped some of his victims. Russ came out and said, I ain't raped nobody. You
he
crazy?
Was, he was damn clear on that.
yeah.
He was like, fucking, like, y'all not gonna do that to me.
Yeah, like all right, now y'all going too far. Like I'll take the
yeah.
other shit, but I ain't raped nobody. Like you bugging. You know what I mean? So let's be a little bit more sensitive with that word in particular. You understand? What I'm saying?
Also, to play the devil's advocate just a little bit, but I agree 100% with what you're saying. At the same time, rape doesn't necessarily have to be a crazy, brutal act to the point where they're knocking you about and screaming
Rape
at you and
is
shouting.
forcible
Right.
penetration against your will.
It's-
That is
the
rape.
key word is against your will.
No, the
so-
key word is penetration.
Well,
Like,
that too. That's that too.
a lot of these
that too.
chicks that are claiming rape, they didn't even have sex with you.
Yeah, that too. But I'm saying in regards to the last statement we made, those were against your will is very important to know as well, because if somebody says no and it still happens, even if the man doesn't feel like he was that aggressive or
Right.
you know what I mean,
Fact.
if somebody
No, it's
says
a
no, it's no.
That's a
So that's what I meant to say.
That's a fact. No, very very true. And that's really what I want to convey on that, man, right there. But I mean, shit, man. We gonna hope the best for Unc. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Dude is really.
Yeah. I need evidence, man. I need it for this one, man. I'm sorry,
need it
So
man.
what would
Till the
we call it?
videotape comes out.
What would we call evidence? What type of evidence could we get? Like however many years later that would be satisfying?
Like, have you ever have not trying to be funny. Have any of you ever like had a conversation or just swapped a few words with Russell Simmons?
Briefly at the Magic Show, but it was not.
He is one of the most positive people. Once again, not being ignorant, has nothing to do with what he does with his dick, but he is one of the most positive speaking people.
Clarify that shit.
Like this motherfucker could talk a fish out of a tank, yo.
I heard it was good.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's the tricky thing, and that's the thing that makes it hard for us to, to accept it and to believe it, and we can't even believe it anyway because we don't know yet.
Right.
It's just tricky again because some of the nicest people or the people who seem to have the best character, you just don't know with people. I'm sorry.
Right.
For me, I've learned that you just don't know. Somebody could seem to be not so nice and have the biggest heart, and then somebody could, seem to come across as a certain way. There's many freaking preachers. There's many people in political, spiritual positions who we've come to find have done X, Y, and Z. So it makes it so hard for me to judge, anybody, because you just never know. And again, I would never say that I believe any of the accusations. I don't believe them. I don't.
Right.
I don't know. I'm just sitting here watching.
You're just waiting it out. Yeah, you're waiting it out. Yeah. And I can respect that.
Because to me, it's different. Yeah. Like if I know you personally, like if I know you, like if somebody told me you did something, I feel like I would know you well enough to be like, nah, he would never do that.
So
or
it's like character.
You know what I'm trying to say it's character. Like
character speaks a lot in these situations.
Yeah.
And I'm just speaking on his character.
Okay,
Mind you, I don't know dude personally,
right.
but character from my I've interacted with him briefly about 3 or 4 times.
Right. Okay.
Character I've seen, just observing his lifestyle, it doesn't speak to the accusations.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, so it's like, damn, and then it's like you hear more and more names coming forward, and I'm pretty sure a lot of these dudes are scumbags. Don't get it twisted. Right. But it's like I said, I'm just trying to figure out who's just out here looking for a check and who has a
and that's what
story.
makes it so tough, man. That's what makes it so tough. And then, even if they can't prove it's true, how do they disprove it? You can't disprove it either. So it's like, what can you even say? Like, even if even if some of those women are lying, and I don't know. I'm not naming any names. I'm just saying in general, if anybody is lying, how would you even prove that anyway?
Well, first thing is proving you actually know the person. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, there's a lot of these men who are coming forward. Like, I don't even know who that is.
Right.
And I'm, and devil's advocate. Yeah. I'm pretty sure you done been through enough women in time that few names or faces might slip through the cracks, and you forgot who the fuck they are. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
30 years later, it look totally different now. Like, you don't even remember that. Okay, cool. Understood.
Right.
So the first thing you could do is just at least validate that y'all had an interaction. That y'all seen each other, you met, you talked something.
Yeah.
Like, I just need something more than your word. That's all I'm saying. Just give me something more than your word.
Yeah. The one thing I will say is I think in cases like this, it's after so much time has passed, it's going to be very, very hard for you to generate any proof. So your word is pretty much all you have.
I mean, you
to an extent. So I feel like it. Like in these. I mean, where's your number from 20 years ago?
No, I'm just saying if me and you interacted with each other, for whatever amount of time ago, in order for me to even hear you out. Just give me something to say that y'all even knew each other. Picture.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. That's hard.
Old email, something.
I see what you're saying, but there's plenty people from London who I wouldn't even know how to access them now or reach them now. There's probably people who, unless you're on my social media, I'm in another country now. You wouldn't even know how to contact me. My email address has changed like 3 times. Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm saying, how would you even prove or disprove it, to be honest? Like, I feel like it's hard. Like, so to have the requirement of you must be able to prove it means that if you can't prove it, should you not come forward? Because, again, like, I could, you know what I mean? If something happened 20 years ago, I know I can't prove it, but I still feel like, you know what? Even if I can't put this person in jail, I'm going to add to the case that's already existed. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to make sure that I add to the case so that we can tarnish somebody's character or so that we can, you know what I mean? Like,
but that's what I'm saying. Like if you're going to do this and go that far to really pretty much change someone's life,
right?
Then you got to be, I just hate that these companies are just jumping out the window based off of a pure allegation that anybody can make.
Yeah. An allegation is like...
You feel me? And that's all I'm saying. Like, You know, it could be a fucking stranger who just calls me and says, "Yo, listen, I want 30,000. I'm calling NBC and telling them you felt me up in 1960."
Right. Right.
And you're like, man, I don't know who the fuck this is,
Right.
man. You better get off my phone. The next thing you know, I'm fucking getting called to the office by the VP like, yo, you fired.
Right. I see what you said. You say, I understand what you mean now when you had said earlier on, though, once it got to 5 or something. Because, like, when it's one person, 2 people, bad enough, once it starts multiplying, then it gets confusing because it gets to the point where it's like, it's either something's going on because there's no way.
All right, none of y'all spoke up? Like, nobody? Like, you feel me? Like, no. 20, 30, nobody said nothing all this time? Like, come on.
Yeah.
You feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you know, it just gets to a point where it becomes a little bit unbelievable.
I think now do you know what it is though? I think now we're in a time where it's easier to spread your message or in whatever capacity, whatever your accusation is, whatever your gripe is, like it's a lot easier for you to get attention now and to have your voice heard.
Look at the Usher shit. The shit with Usher.
Yeah.
Look how before, and we still don't know. We still don't know right now, but look how fast people run with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
To the point to where a dude came forward. And said he gave it to me too.
Yeah. People are funny, man.
You feel me? Like that, and that's the scary part about these things is that we don't even look for proof no more.
Yeah, that's scary.
The allegation, that's it. Anybody can say anything. Somebody could go online right now and say, I seen Pacer with a tranny.
Right. And then that's it. Now
and it's over after that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And everybody like wildfire.
Yeah.
Oh, word. It's fucked up, man.
I think the art you just have to know how to. You just have to know how to have, like, I don't know, keep it all in perspective. Like, understand that nobody is above anything, but at the same time, understand that there are definitely a lot of opportunists out there too. So, for me personally, love Russell Simmons. I'm not gonna make a judgment. I'm just here hoping for the best. You know what I mean? I hope. Yeah, I'm hoping for the best. Like, I hope that he didn't do what the things that these women are saying that he did. If he didn't know, that's very scary because it's scary that many people would lie. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Like the fact that many people would come forward and say something that's not true. If that's
but we're not saying that either, right?
We're not saying that. We're not saying that. But I'm saying like. Whichever way it goes, it's not good. Do you know what I'm trying to say? If they are lying, that's terrible because that means just the drop of a dime, any celebrity could be next. Anybody could be next. If a bunch of 10 women can come together and agree that they're going to do something like this, then they can destroy somebody. But I don't want him to be guilty either of any of these things because you know what I mean? I don't want it to be true, but you know what I mean?
We just gotta let the madness unfold, right? And that's really all we can do. But
so what do they want from it as well? Because what are the women saying they actually want out of it at this point? Because you know, like when something usually happens, you know, if you feel like there was a crime committed towards you and you go forward with it, usually you want the person to be prosecuted. You know what I mean? You want it. I mean, the law to get involved in all of that stuff.
Yeah, that's a good question because I'm not sure either. To be honest with you, like that's one thing I asked when I heard about there were a few ex-NFL players that were fired from jobs they had because of accusations of sexual abuse from one woman. As a matter of fact, it was one woman who came forward. She dropped a list of names, said all of these men sexually inappropriately sexually advanced, and they were all fired. I think it was about 3 or 4 of them.
Wow.
And that's what I thought too, man. I'm like, all right, well, if it ain't about legal accusations or you like trying to get some legal action against these dudes against what you feel is a crime, or if it isn't about any sort of monetary litigation, right? Then what is the point?
Right. Yeah. That's what I would like to know. Like, what is
just because? Like I don't know. That was a good question. It was one woman. I think she said she did field reporting for the NFL. She dropped a few names, and they were all let go.
Wow, that's nuts. Because the NFL don't want to be associated.
Oh, not right now. Yeah. But that's this Harvey Weinstein shit. A lot of people are just like, yo, we can't afford it right now. Yo. Because if we stand next to you, whether it's true or false, just us standing next to you is going to present a problem for business.
Right, of course.
It's fucked up. Yeah. That's the thing about corporate too. That's a whole nother thing, man. That's the thing about corporate. When in corporate, even when you're right, you're wrong. You understand what I'm saying? Because certain shit come up, they are going to get as far the fuck away from you as possible. Right. They don't care what it is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's crazy.
that's just because, you know, especially this time of year, it's fourth quarter, motherfuckers cannot afford. This shit is real. Like, niggas cannot, like, them tuition checks is coming up next month. Niggas cannot afford it right now, yo. Fucking Harvard don't want to hear that shit. Your kid owes $60,000. Like, they need to make sure that come up. Like niggas can, like, you understand what I'm saying? Just, you know. I'm sorry, man. When niggas got them jobs to risk, and you know your wife got that trip to Paris coming up and that shit, nigga. Like, nigga, I can't afford it right now. Like, nigga, it's either you or me right now. Nigga, it's gonna be you. Fuck that shit. Like, that's the corporate world. That's that corporate world, though. Like, it's like
I
niggas.
see what you mean. Everybody's looking out for their money.
Word.
I mean, everyone's like, I'm
Nigga,
sorry.
My bottom line comes before what you did with your dick. Like, I'm sorry. Like, seriously, yo.
Oh, wow.
I don't give a fuck if it's true or not. Like, nigga, I gotta get the fuck away from you right now. You ain't gonna fuck up my bonus. I got that good Christmas bonus coming up, nigga. You crazy? Shit. You ain't gonna fuck that shit up for me. So that's just what it is.